Level 1, the hunt. Your knife is still slick when you hear the crunch of boots on snow behind you that don't belong to anyone in your hunting party. You just brought down a frost bear 3 times your weight alone because the rest of your party turned back when the storm rolled in and you didn't. Fenris doesn't reward turning back. It rewards the stubborn and buries the rest. The figure standing over the bear's carcass is 8 feet of gray pelt and dark ceramite, and he's been watching for longer than you realized. He doesn't ask if you're proud of the kill. He asks why you didn't turn back with the others. You tell him the truth, that you'd rather die finishing something than live having quit it. He doesn't smile. Something in his eyes does. Every child on Fenris grows up hearing about the sky wolves, giants who walk the ice pretending to be men, choosing the ones worth taking. You always assumed it was a story mothers told to make children brave. It isn't. He tells your chieftain you're leaving that night, and nobody in your longhouse argues with him, because arguing with a sky wolf is a shorter story than the one you're about to live. Level 2, the breaking. The fortress they take you to is called the Fong, and it does not feel like a home for 11 days, because for 11 days you are strapped to a table while wolf priests feed something into your bloodstream that your body fights like an invading army. They call the first implant the second heart. It's not poetic. It's literal, a redundant organ meant to keep you alive when the first one stops. For 6 of those 11 days, both hearts are trying to beat at different rhythms, and the pain of that disagreement is the worst thing you've ever felt. On the 12th day, they strip you of everything but a blade and put you out into the wastes alone. This is the part nobody in your tribe's stories ever mentions. That becoming a sky wolf means surviving your own transformation, happening in real time. In the dark, with nothing but frostbite and a hunger that isn't fully yours yet keeping you company. You kill a snow lynx on the 3rd night by instinct you don't remember choosing to use. Some part of you wants to keep eating long after the animals stopped moving. You stop yourself. Barely. You walk back through the Fong's gates on the 9th day. Of the 30 who went out with you, 19 walk back. The wolf priests don't grieve the 11. They simply cross 11 names off a list and hand you a red and yellow shoulder plate. Level 3, the pack. They call you Blood Claws, and within a week you understand it's less an honor than a warning label. Your pack leader is a gray hunter named Storn who has buried 2 entire Blood Claw packs before yours and tells you so on your first night, flatly, like he's reading you a weather report. You don't train in cages. The chapter's philosophy is simple. Real war teaches faster than drills. So 8 days after your first pack meeting, you're dropped into a war against an orc warband 3 times your numbers. You break their line in 11 minutes. It shouldn't be possible. It happens anyway, and for one wild, howling hour, you believe nothing in the galaxy can kill you. You're wrong 6 weeks later, when a brother named Eric chases a fleeing champion 200 meters past where the pack can cover him and doesn't come back. Storn doesn't console anyone. He tells you Eric's saga ends unfinished because he wanted a story more than he wanted to survive one, and that the difference between those 2 things is the only lesson worth learning at your age. Level 4, the patience. 40 years pass, though your body has aged maybe 12. Your hair has gone iron gray. Your canines have lengthened past what any unaugmented man would call human. You've stopped noticing your own scars because your skin barely keeps them anymore. What's changed more than your body is how you fight. The reckless charge that used to feel like your only instinct now feels like one option among many, and you've learned, the way Storn always seemed to know, to wait for the moment a charge actually works instead of the first moment it merely feels good. During a siege that drags into its 4th week, your pack holds a collapsing flank not by attacking it, but by refusing the bait the enemy is clearly dangling in front of you. It's the least glorious fight of your life. It's also the one that gets remembered, because the line holds and the siege breaks in the chapter's favor. A wolf guard you've never spoken to nods at you afterward, once, and says nothing else. You understand, somehow, exactly what the nod means. Level 5, the standing. The offer, when it comes, isn't phrased as an offer. Your wolf lord simply tells you, after a battle where you personally held a breach against 3 Chaos Marines twice your size, that you'll be standing beside him from now on. Wolf Guard, one of a dozen sworn to fight at a lord's shoulder, and if it comes to that, to die buying him the half-second he needs to survive something that shouldn't be survivable. An old wolf guard named Havden hands you a cloak that night. His own, carried for 90 years with a name stitched into its lining in old Fenrisian that isn't his. He doesn't explain the gesture. You're expected to understand that wearing a dead hero's cloak means carrying an obligation to be worth it. Standing this close to command means watching decisions made at a scale you never weighed as a gray hunter. Entire companies committed or held back on a single word. One night on campaign, your lord asks your opinion on a battle plan before finalizing it. Genuinely asks. Waits. You give it. He uses it. The plan that follows is partly yours, and something in how you see your own place in the chapter quietly rearranges itself. Level 6, the debt repaid. Eventually they hand you a fresh blood claw pack, the way Storn was once handed you, and you finally understand exactly how thankless that job is. One recruit reminds you too much of yourself. Chasing every kill within reach, certain caution belongs to lesser warriors. Another starts showing the signs the priests warn every wolf guard to watch for. Snarling at brothers over nothing, losing whole minutes of a battle to something underneath his own memory. You report the second recruit that same night rather than wait to see if it passes, because a wolf guard who hides a struggling brother out of loyalty is the reason some wolves never come home. You never learn if the priests save him. Asking twice isn't something anyone in your position does. You catch your reckless one by the strap of his pauldron 3 months later, hauling him back from a chase that would have killed him, hard enough to bruise. The look on his face afterward sits somewhere between fury and the beginning of understanding. You don't console him about it. Nobody consoled you either. Level 7, the Mantle. Your wolf lord dies against an orc whack that outnumbers his company badly enough that even his death doesn't feel like a surprise, only a cost everyone had already priced in. The company's wolf guards spend one night in council. By morning, they've named you Jarl, whether you feel ready or not. And readiness, you learn quickly, was never part of the criteria. One wolf guard, a full century your senior, contests it the old way, and you spend the morning after your own succession bleeding from a duel you didn't ask for and technically didn't lose, since he swears the oath afterward like nothing happened. Command changes what war even is. It stops being a fight you personally survive and becomes a shape you now give to hundreds of other men's fights. Your company starts fighting the way you fight, patient, grinding, reluctant to spend a life on anything less than certain. You're never quite sure if that's wisdom or simply what's left of you after decades of learning caution the hard way. Level 8, the Ridge. A century into your lordship, word reaches you that a gray hunter you once mentored finally lost the argument every Fenrisian carries in his blood, the beast underneath finally winning after 40 quiet years of losing. You sit the vigil yourself, because a Jarl who won't sit with his own dead isn't much of a Jarl. You lead the great company longer than some companies exist at all, until a young wolf priest brings you a report that crosses your desk the way 100 others do every year. A Fenrisian boy alone, who brought down something 3 times his size and didn't flinch when asked why he hadn't turned back. You remember a snow bear. You remember a stranger who didn't smile. Exactly, but something in his eyes did. You send the priest back out to finish it properly. Somewhere on the ice tonight, a boy has no idea his life just changed, and someone who's been watching him longer than he realizes is finally ready to be seen.